Hey guys, Coach Jorge here, and today's little video lesson is going to be all about the 5 types of volleys. So I find that rec players often lump volleys into just one big category of volleys, and they don't recognize that there's actually some specialty volleys. So I'm going to go through these and show off 5 of them to you. I got my wife and daughter here, Carly and Marty. So guys, let's start out with what I call the routine volley. Back up to about the service line. The routine volley, unfortunately, is the one that people practice almost exclusively. It's a ball that's kind of not too hard. It reaches you in a comfortable strike zone, kind of up around your shoulders, and I would call that a routine volley. And although it is an important volley, it's probably not the one that you should be practicing exclusively, because most people don't struggle with that one. Now, the second type of volley there is what I call a stretch volley. We all know what a stretch volley is. Very few times do we practice it. So what this is, I'll stretch you that way and you this way. So a stretch volley is you're going to be off balance. Your racket is going to be not underneath you. And then what we're looking for is for you not to get floppy. So let's do a 2-ball, Carly. Regular, and then a stretch volley is way over there. Okay, good, not bad. Okay, Marty, same thing. I'll give you regular, and then way over there is a stretch. Wow, that wasn't too stretchy. Let's go one more. She's my gal. Good. So what'll happen on the stretch volley often is because we're not nice and compact and balanced and centered, we get kind of off center and our head gets out from underneath our center body, and then all of a sudden we get off floppy. So that's the stretch volley. It's an important volley to know, define, and to practice. The third is the low volley, which I think is probably the most missed volley there is. That was a half volley actually. So a low volley by definition is anytime you're hitting your volley point of contact below net level. Okay, so you have the net to deal with. What I can tell you about that is that if you don't have a continental grip, if you never invested in that, it's probably going to be a nightmare shot for you. It is a shot where you kind of open your face up. You're not doing it this way, you just present your face, and that's what helps to get it over. Now, another volley, let's back up a little bit. This is really, in my opinion, the most common messed up volley. I call it the tweener or the sucker volley. It's not a normal volley that's right to you, and it's not an overhead where it's obviously an overhead. This is something in between. It's a half volley, it's like half of a volley, and people don't know what it should be. So these are tweeners. The way I feed it is to just throw it up there with not too much arc, not too much power. And the best way to play that ball is to move in and volley it with your feet. So that shot, if you're a coach or if you're a player, you got to practice that shot. That's the one that people tend to choke in a match. The one that when you miss, the crowd goes, ah. Okay, so the big mistake people do on those is it takes a while, and they really do 1 or 2 mistakes. They see a ball kind of go up, they go, oh, overhead. They start preparing for an overhead. They're already committed to the overhead motion. Halfway through, they go, oh boy, that's here already. And they're too late. They can't bail out of the overhead and they end up hitting a home run. Or they kind of freeze, and instead of going to the ball with their feet, they kind of just wait for it and they go and then they net it and into the ground. So probably, in my opinion, the #1 choked or missed volley is that tweener. Okay, and gals, the last one is a block volley. That's when I supply you a ton of power, and all you're going to do, your swing is going to look like a block. You're just going to use all that power, borrow it from me, no swing whatsoever. So I wail on it, I wail on it, okay, wail on it, wail on it. So here's why I think it's important, and gals, let's kind of come up. It's important for you to know those 5, and not just to know them, but to practice them. I've coached a ton of rec players in my day, and the problem that we have is that they practice their routine volley, maybe one other one, and they think they're pretty good. They go to war, they get in a match, and then they don't get too many routine volleys. They get all these specialty volleys, and no one's ever taught them that. No one's ever even given them a name, okay? So it's super important that to understand there's a lot of variety in volleys. I like to give them names because then we're all on the same page. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Hey, thanks for checking us out on both of our websites. TennisHeroes.tv, our website for coaches, as well as Jorge Capestany, my free website for players that has all kinds of free instruction and all kinds of category serves, returns, everything there is free. And also on JorgeCapestany.com, you can see slow motion, high definition footage of the very best players in the world. If you happen to be watching this video on JorgeCapestany.com, please scroll down and leave us a comment. That's where we get better. We'd like to hear from you. I promise to read all those and I'll respond if you have questions. So thanks for checking us out, and make sure you practice all 5 volley types.